This is why I think Elordi was perfect with this. His emotion for such a young actor, he had such a range of emotion in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had the stuff, but he's got the stuff.
Dude, for real, like he is a very impressive actor, and he's got a really far career ahead of him, I feel.
You shouldn't feel so empathetic and connected with the creature.
But you do.
God damn, they do such a good job of doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely it gives you a different perspective if you go into this like not knowing anything about it, and you have that like idea in your head like, oh, this is like a scary, like monstrous kind of creature, like, you know, it's going to be killings left and right, there's no emotion, it's just like a brainless kind of like killing machine, then you're definitely like in for a treat when things just change and you completely change your outlook on it, I hope.
Oh yeah, no, this is absolutely not a horror movie. It's a
and that's
a story about racism, tragedy, and like humanity and love.
Yeah,
Art
yeah.
versus science.
Oh yeah, and dealing with like trauma, like childhood trauma being passed on from like generation to generation. It's so much more than just like face value, like a universal monster concept that everybody always thinks of. It's just like that automatically like original adaptation.
Welcome to the commentary booth, where we watch and, you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator, Jamie Apps, and each week I'll be joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. Oh, God. This week I'm joined by the goddamn noisiest person in the world who lists their favourite movie as A Nightmare on Elm Street and favourite TV show is Golden Girls. Welcome to the show, Giggle Pants Corrina Mabey.
Hi.
Asshole.
To be fair, I didn't know it was going to make that much noise. I was trying to be really quiet. Can't hear my Sour Patch Kids anymore.
Pretty sure I will at some point, but that's okay.
Howdy, howdy, ho. How's it going?
Doofus. Okay. Let's just dive right into it, because you're off the rails already today.
I am not. I am in the Christmas spirit. I have gone full 180 from like being spooky season to being Christmas now, with the exception of me also embracing everything wicked at the moment. So that's like the one minor thing. And I'm not laughing anymore. See? I told you I'd calm down. Just took some wine and blue raspberry Sour Patch Kids. Dive right in though.
So before you embrace the Christmas spirit, this week we are defying death and humanity to explore Guillermo del Toro's latest film, Frankenstein, which just arrived on Netflix this past Friday at the time this will go out. So Frankenstein is a Gothic science fiction film produced, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, based on Mary Shelley's 1818 novel Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus. In the film, a brilliant but egotistical scientist brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation. This interpretation has the most stacked cast I think I've seen on a Netflix show or movie in quite a long time.
Yes.
Has Oscar Isaac as Baron Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as the creature, Mia Goth as Lady Elizabeth Harlander,
Yep.
Felix Camera as William Frankenstein, Victor's younger brother, Lars Mikkelsen as Captain Anderson, Christopher Waltz as Henrik Harlander. Yeah, just an incredibly stacked lineup.
So many people in this movie. So many people. You've got a Harry Potter person. You've got a Game of Thrones person. You got the guy from Inglourious Bastards. You've got
a Marvel character.
The Saltburn Kid. And then, like, the Scream Queen herself at this point. Like, I feel like she is, like, this generation's, like, Scream Queen at this point. So there are so many people in this movie for Netflix to have done that. Like, I don't feel like it was totally them. I feel like when they heard the name Guillermo del Toro, they were just like, sign me up. Yep. whatever he wants. Yeah.
And Mia is actually in the movie twice. She plays 2 separate roles.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
It always wigs me out too. I watched the making of documentary that's also on Netflix. It always wigs me out when she does interviews and her accent comes out, like her natural English accent. I'm like, oh.
Her voice is very, like, her voice does match her. She looks like a mouse. And so she has, like, that very, like, squeaky kind of voice. She's a very strange person, though, like, her whole persona.
In my head, I always think she's American because of X being the first thing I saw her in.
Yeah, I always expect her to have, like, a southern accent.
Yeah, and then she speaks, and you're like, oh, you are very, very English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But in terms of the Frankenstein film, what did you think of it? And then we'll dive into various bits and pieces as we go along.
With the exception of a couple CG issues that I had with it, I don't understand the crap that this movie's getting. I think it was great, especially for like a Netflix movie, and then they decided to put it in select theaters. I really don't understand.
And filmed for IMAX too. It looks...
Yeah.
The shots I've seen of people seeing it at IMAX looked incredible.
Yeah, I don't understand all the hate that it's getting, aside from maybe people not understanding this take on it, maybe, or not fully grasping the whole concept of Frankenstein in general of the story. But yeah, there was like I said, there was a couple things with like the CG where it just kind of looked a little sloppy or like cheap. But when you watch the documentary on this, and you see like all of the effort that went into building sets and costumes, hair and makeup, everything.
Lighting half of these scenes is insane.
Yeah, like there's so much there's so much more depth to this movie, and you just can't take it at face value. You have to really accept it as a whole, and I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, watching the making of made me want to watch the movie again because it's just like, holy cow, there's so much intricate detail put into every little thing and so much effort. Like, all of the indoor scenes are filmed with lights being outside the building because it is set in like the 1800s, so there is no interior electric lighting.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, all of the light has to be from natural sources. So they're talking about it might have been raining in England outside this palace thing that they live in. Mm-hmm. But inside, you would think it was daytime, like a bright sunny day outside. It was lit that well, like just wild.
Also, like the mechanics, like how they did the gigantic ship, those mechanics were fantastic. Even like when they explained the columns underground of the mansion and how they had to create said columns to fit
so
cameras.
They could be taken in and out.
Yeah, so they could fit the cameras around to get shots. Like, it is so incredible, everything that went into this movie. So yeah, I really think it deserves a lot more credit than what it's getting right now, because it's just, I don't get it. I really don't get why people hate it.
Yeah, and like the choreography, like not necessarily the choreography of the actors, but the choreography of the cranes, because you have,
yes,
especially those boat scenes, you have cranes that are there to block the natural sunlight, cranes that are there as blue screens so that they can impose the backgrounds.
Yep.
More cranes that are with the lights, and then the cameras as well. It's like all of these cranes have to work in sync to not smash into each other and not cast weird shadows.
Yeah, like one wrong like move on anybody, like if somebody's radio, God forbid somebody's radio died and like they just crashed two cranes together, good lord, like the amount of like money that would have gone into that. So yeah, this definitely, after seeing the movie, if you plan on watching the movie, please watch the documentary, because it is so cool, and
adds so much to it.
There is, and I know you tweeted about it, I think, about how you miss behind-the-scenes things like that used to be included in DVDs. That is probably why I actually still own a lot of my DVDs that I have, because I have so many that are, like, collector's editions, like 2 discs and shit, that have, like, hours worth of, like, docs and stuff, because, like, all my Lord of the Rings came with it, and those are always cool to see, and, like, my Harry Potter movies and stuff. I live for that kind of shit. Like, anytime I got my hands on, like, a behind-the-scenes thing, I would be, like, eyeballs deep in it all day.
Yeah, like, the blooper reels and stuff are fine. Like, they're a fun addition, but they don't really add much. Director's commentaries I can probably live without, because I don't want to watch the whole movie with someone talking the whole time.
Right.
But yeah, give me a nice, tight 20, 30-minute behind-the-scenes making of, and I will watch them all day, every day, because they are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you talked about how you're seeing a lot of people hate it. That's the funny thing with social media. I'm getting nothing but people with glowing reviews just being like, this movie is brilliant. Jacob Elordi should win an Oscar. The cinematographer should win an Oscar. And I'm like, yeah, the cinematographer, 1,000%. Jacob Elordi as well, because...
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I couldn't even tell it was him.
Yeah, he got so, like, I cannot praise him enough. Like, him and Oscar Isaacs together on screen, it was beautiful. Like, the connection that, like, you see between creator and creature was so raw. Like, some of the scenes were just, like, very, like, raw. And the way he just kind of, like, embodied the character itself, like, you know, in all aspects of it. It was so cool. And just the way he got down the movements and stuff like that. I even told you last night when we were watching it, like, not that they're going to do it anytime soon, but if they were ever to reboot, like, a Tarzan franchise, after watching him do this and act like that creature, he could easily do Tarzan. Just
the way he moves. Like, the way he talked about, like, in that documentary, he talks about he studied, like, all of these dance forms that are about, like, reanimating a corpse, and it's like very instinctual and primitive, like moving like a beast, not like a human. It was like, or like a baby, like learning how to walk is what he did, and he just did it so well. Like, just the way he moves around is like, holy crap. And then to also the commitment of getting that makeup on every day.
Yeah, they said it was
10 to 12 hours in the makeup chair, with 42 individual prosthetic pieces that had to be put on him, and then the makeup put over them to blend them in. Like, just insane.
I also love the fact that they didn't put him in a suit. Like, they didn't just, like, shove him into, like, a bodysuit and roll with that. I love that they were able to just use the majority of his body and then just lay prosthetics and, like, latex on top of him. And really just, like, because that way it doesn't look over exaggerated. Like, he's obviously looks quite tall, because I didn't realize he probably is pretty tall.
He is quite tall.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that, but he looks,
I think the way they film him accentuates it, but
he's a very tall kid.
Pretty tall.
So the fact that they were just able to, like, use what he already had and just kind of, like, emphasize the way that he would look if he were put together with, like, a million different pieces of people was super cool. And I also really love I super love the character design in this anyway. Traditional Frankenstein always has, like, the nuts and bolts on him, and, you know, like, the, like, stitches and just, you know, that kind of stuff. And this is just, it looks just like scarring, essentially, like healing scars, which is really cool. And it really lays into the whole, like, surgical procedures, not just, like, butchering and putting it together procedures.
Yeah, I think that's what Guillermo says in the making of thing. Like, Frankenstein, like, Dr. Frankenstein isn't a butcher. He is a trained medical doctor who's pushing the very boundaries of the medical profession. So he's not just hacking bits and pieces and putting them together. He's very particular about how these attach and where all of the scars are, and some of the scars aren't necessarily like attaching one guy's arm to another guy's shoulder. It might be, he had to cut here to get into a certain chi point or a muscle to, like, tweak it and, like, stuff like that. So it's really cool in that way. And the design is awesome. If we go all the way back to the start, though, this movie wastes no time in, like, setting up. Like, it follows the book quite closely from the start, where it's end to end. Like, it begins and ends on the ship in the Arctic, and the attack of the creature the first time is just brutal and sets the tone immediately of we should fear this thing, and then it goes back and, like, tries to reframe it and take away those preconceived prejudices, which is kind of what the whole movie is about, like the sort of idea of racism and hatred that is passed on by generation after generation, but the monster is the one that's just like, I was nice, I just wanted to connect with everyone until the world treated me like crap, and then that's it, I wanted to fight back. Yep. Yeah, I really do like that. I love the fact that the director is obsessed with Frankenstein in general. Like, he even admits that he is, like, absolutely obsessed with the book. So I feel like he did it justice. Even when he did tweak it slightly from the book and everything like that. Like, there's slight modifications with it. There's one big change.
Well, yeah. I was trying to say slight, but it is pretty major. But I like that he added his own personal twist to it, but it didn't take away from the story. If anything, it just like enhanced it and kind of went into a direction of what if somebody were to retell Frankenstein, but still keep it pretty original.
Yeah, I think that the tweak that we are mentioning is the Lady Elizabeth is not Victor's wife. It's his younger brother's partner. Mm-hmm. So that like changes the dynamics between Victor and his brother, Victor and the creature and Elizabeth. So it changes a heap of stuff, but it still keeps the core of humanity pushing things away and shoot first, ask questions later as like the first instinct.
Yep.
And it makes you sympathize with the creature more and change your perception of Victor as well, because you look at him a little bit more as a bad guy, because it twists it where he's not like protecting his wife anymore. Yeah. He's trying to almost steal his younger brother's wife.
Yeah.
And is an asshole to the creature as well.
I think it also made it a little bit more fun, and because now like you really it's not just like the creature trying to vie for Elizabeth's affection, but you can see Victor like also kind of like he feels like he needs to compete with the creature and with his brother and with himself, and I think it just added like an extra little like aspect to him of, and even of like his like crazy manic episodes too. And then, you know, when you see the demise of Elizabeth, it doesn't just affect the creature, it also like affects Victor in a different way than if it were to just have been his wife, like because he never had her to begin with, like he couldn't actually have her. And so the fact that like he knows that she really essentially like chose the creature over him, and she chose his brother over him, just it adds to it for me.
And it allows him in those early parts to be more focused and obsessed with the science aspect. He's not like chasing after, he's kind of, but he is much more focused on, I need to get this science experiment to work as his main goal, because he's obsessed with defeating death after what happened to his mother.
Yep.
And I mentioned that opening, there is a scene where the creature punches a sailor's head clean off, and I was like, holy crap, okay, we're going this far. It's not going to be some light sugar-coated movie that's very or like a family-friendly retelling of Frankenstein. This is going to be brutal and violent, and it gets incredibly gory as well. Yeah, no, it was really good. Like, I like that they did emphasize like the power behind said creature and like how strong he actually is and how well Victor made him, but they didn't go over the top to where it takes away from the story. Like it is just it enhances it, in my opinion. Like I think it just enhances him as the creature in general, and I liked it a lot actually. And like also the way he creates this creature as well. He has to attach and build the creature with so many different pieces, because he can't just go to, although he is going to like gallows and stuff and treating them like a cattle sale yard and just going, I'll take this one and I'll take this one after they're sent to be executed. There's also a scene where he's walking through like a battlefield and he's taking bodies and bits and pieces. So yeah, he doesn't have like a perfectly intact right arm that he can attach just a full arm. Like he has to take this much of a body part and this much because this bit's been shot or blown up. So it is very much a hodgepodge piece of things just to put this creature together. Yeah, like skinning an arm just to get the tendons. Like, the tendons look like they're in great shape, so we'll just like take the skin off and put some new skin on there from someone else, kind of thing. I liked that. I loved when he's seen the monster together and you just see like bodies everywhere, like just mass amounts of like arms, legs, femurs, and just fucking blood everywhere. Yeah, torso here, matter. There's a head, there's a jaw over there. Yeah. That's the funny part too in that making of documentary. The special effects department are talking about how they put together all these bodies thinking we'll use a couple of bits here and a couple of bits in this scene. And then they showed Guillermo and he was like, yeah, I'll just put them all in there. And they were like, okay. Yeah. And then seeing them dress that set with like spraying it with water and blood and super little cool paint touches. Like, holy cow, so much detail went into this. It's not just toss them in there, they'll be good. Like they had to then, they tossed them in there, but then they had to get in there with like tiny little paintbrushes and paint like little blood droplets and then squirt a bit of like liquid blood. And it's like, holy cow, there's a lot of effort just to get one shot. And I think they said a lot of these shots they only did half a dozen times because they just were like, everybody was on the same page, which I think comes down to Del Toro uses the same creative team all the time. Like they are the Guillermo del Toro team.
Yeah.
So they have that, like they said in the documentary, this like built up trust and knowledge of, oh, they'll probably do this, so if I do this, and then they happily share things to like with the colouring and especially like blocking the colours for different characters. So you have green is Elizabeth, which is like life and nature and all that sort of stuff, and her clothes reflect rocks, butterflies, beetles. Yeah. The X-ray dress was awesome.
Oh, so cool. I love that, and I love the way that they explained that. It was so much fun. I have a love-hate relationship with her wardrobe. I hate her headpieces. They work. I just hate them. They annoy me. But she also, I like the fact that she really is the color in this entire story. With everything being so dark and drab and dreary, like, she is all of the color that comes out of this. She is like literally.
Yeah, she's the brightness in the story.
She's the brightness. She is the life of this movie, essentially. And it's weird because I did have a different thought process on her. I hated her character in this movie. And I don't know if it's just because I was not a big fan of Mia Goth in this role. I don't know why. I just didn't like her for this role. But after I watched the documentary, I have a newfound appreciation for the character herself and her style choices and the wardrobe that they put her in.
Yeah, I didn't mind Mia. I think she just gets massively overshadowed by everyone else in this movie. Like,
her character's not super important except for like one aspect.
It's Jacob and Oscar's movie. Like, they are the two key characters.
Yes.
And then you have like Blue for the some more father figures throughout it, like Harland and the actual Frankenstein's father. And they're like the science and the reason side of the story. And then I love that you have like the only people that wear red are Victor and Frankenstein's mother. Yeah. They're the only people that pop up in red, and Frankenstein's mother, also Mia Goth. So it's like cool that they did that. And I love that it's all cohesive, and they talked about like even changing sets because the sailors were in this blue that wasn't as dark as they expected. And then the captain's quarters was supposed to be all white so that the blues would pop. And then they realized, oh, they're more of a bright blue, not a dark navy. So let's just paint the room blue as well. Which is cool that they are so flexible.
Yeah, and they're very like in sync with it. Like there's no like conflict or anything. You can definitely see like all sides of it. Like, oh, well, I decided to go with this color blue, not that color blue. And they're like, okay, no problem. So we can just switch it over, and it's no big deal to add a coat of paint to a room or, change a lighting here or there, add a piece of fabric somewhere, all that other good stuff.
Well, yeah, even the lighting technicians were talking about, like, they have to really be in sync with the costume people, because if they light a scene a certain way, it's going to totally change how those costumes are seen on camera, which is, really important. It's something you don't always think about, but obviously when I'm working with my lights here, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I look super washed out or super orange, and you just have to tweak things all the time. It's really cool to see that carries over into big budget movies like this as well. Yeah. And then like the set people had to speak with the costuming as well, because all of Mia's things, because they reflect nature, they have to reflect the nature that's in this world that they've created. Yeah. So they're like, oh, here's the rock pattern that I used. Can you incorporate that into the costuming? And then, oh, well, we can do this like weird like dip thing to the costumes to get these patterns into it. And it's the same pattern that was in the rock formation that was randomly shown for like 2 seconds. Yeah.
It's really cool how extra they were. Like, I call it extra, but really it's just like, that's how you get good quality things. And it's things that I feel other movies, especially lately with like budgets being here and there and timelines, people trying to just like push things out. I don't feel like some things are really thought through. And when you overlook even the smallest detail, it can matter a lot.
And like, yeah, it's like the reliance on CG, whereas this didn't. Like the lab when it explodes, obviously they couldn't blow up the real life 400-foot lab, so they made a 40-to-1 scale model and blew that up, and then enhanced the explosion of that with CG to come in and like amp it up a bit, but it's more natural. When the storm hits the lab and things start like falling down around it, they actually knocked those big battery things over.
Oh yeah.
So that they got natural bounces, not some CGI guy going in and being like, oh, well, I'll just bounce it like this.
Yeah, or the fucking boat. The fucking ship on their... like
yeah, the whole boat moves.
The whole boat waves back and forth, and I think that is so cool because so many people take for granted having the ability to use CGI for everything, and you lose some of it. It doesn't matter, like, if you're watching, like, a monumental movie on TV, like, with explosions and stuff like that, or if you're just, like, watching, like... you know, a stupid like horror movie or anything like that. Like when you incorporate so much CG into something, you'll lose the authenticity and like the feel of things, I think. And that's what I think I really enjoyed about this, is that it just kind of, it felt so real. Like the majority of it just felt so authentic, and like you could reach out and touch the boat and you would feel like all the little divots in it, and you would see like all of the cool like little like chunks taken out of it from a battle or something like that. And, you know, even the coats, like I keep going back to the wardrobe, but like the creature's wardrobe, how they incorporated like the spine indent onto it because it was on a skeleton for so long. Mm-hmm. Just so cool, and such a minor detail that nobody really would probably think about it, but I think it just adds to it.
Yeah, I noticed that spine like imprinting on the fabric, and I wasn't sure about it, but then when they explained, I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You pointed out the like glint in the creature's like left eye.
Yep.
That was another one that was a total accident.
Oh, I think that is like probably my favorite thing about this creature design is that weird like reflective shots that they get whenever the light hits them a certain way. It's so cool.
Yeah, so what it was supposed to be is Jacob was supposed to wear 2 contacts that would like kind of dull his eyes and make them look more dead. Mm-hmm. But the one in his left eye was like irritating him. Mm-hmm. So they just took it out, and then it shines a bit more. And then Del Toro saw that in one of the early scenes that they filmed. So then they incorporated that, and like it lights up kind of when he's embracing the more monstrous side of the character.
Yeah.
So every time he's like touching on that evil and like breaking to hurt things, that's when you sort of see that glint in its eye, and it's like, oh, that's kind of disturbing. And then I saw like on Twitter last night like a close-up of the face.
Yeah.
And like there are no eyelids on that eye either.
Yeah, it's completely open.
So
like
he,
you can
yeah,
see
so
like
he blinks and his right eye blinks.
Yeah.
And the left eye just stays open, and then it like turned, and I was like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because you can see like the muscle tissue kind of like underneath it during certain like when he, because I think he gets shot at one point in like the face in the woods. Yeah. And like that's when you can really see.
It doesn't heal properly.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Attention trading card collectors! Are you ready to take your collection to the next level? Dive into the action with the limited edition Australian wrestling card, showcasing the most electrifying talents Australia has to offer. Imagine owning cards featuring legends such as Robbie Eagles, Shazza McKenzie, Shane Hayes, Madison Eagles, and many, many more. But that's not all. You'll also snag cards of the iconic referees, commentators, and announcers, just like me, Lord Andy Coyne, to truly capture the spirit of Australian independent wrestling. And as our homegrown talent continues to dominate the world stage, Ozrest cards are destined to become hot commodities. Not only will you be owning a valuable piece of wrestling history, but you'll also be supporting the amazing wrestlers and talented photographers behind the magic. So don't wait! Grab your Australian wrestling cards now at pariomagazine.com.au/Ozres cards. Order today and kickstart your collection with a bang!
One of the like big themes of this is the idea of science versus sort of faith and religion, and I loved how Del Toro kind of contrasts sort of Eastern medicine, where like they mention that Dr. Frankenstein has discovered this thing like in Eastern philosophy of like chi and energy channels and stuff, and incorporates that versus like the Western medical beliefs of he has to go and show off to the medical board and like prove why he shouldn't be disbarred basically. And that is a crazy scene as well, where he's proving that, hey, I've conquered death, like I can make this torso and arm catch an apple, and it's making choices. It's not just the electric current running through a body.
Right. And I love the fact that they made molds of Elordi's face and just utilized that for the same monster model throughout the entire movie. I think that is like...
They made a whole mold of Elordi's body for the crucifixion part.
Yeah. I think it is so cool that like instead of making like variations of the monster where like either you saw his like progression in like what the face would look like and completely change it all the way, it has like that very similar like look. It's very reminiscent of just like a modeled skeleton, like the basic model face that you would see in like a health place or whatever, like school of medicine.
Yep. And then you have like the idea of sort of generational trauma as well, where Victor is like his father is quite strict and almost abusive to the point of like teaching him about science and medicine and all of that stuff. And there's a scene where he gets a question wrong, and Victor puts his hand out to be caned because he got it wrong. And the father's like, no, they're your tools now, we can't damage those, we've got to look after those. And so he smacks him across the face with the cane. And then that's echoed later when the monster touches Victor and he's like, no, don't touch me, and like whacks it over the face. I'm like, okay, so you're just as bad as your dad now. Like that's I think that's the turning point in your head where you go, this isn't a nice guy.
No.
He sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you don't think of him like that at first because he doesn't seem that crazed, but then you can see the progression of him just going completely mad. Slowly but surely it just like eats away at him, and he just doesn't know what to do. It just spirals out of control.
Especially because like initially he treats the creature so badly because it's like not immediately able to do everything he thought of, but it's like, yeah, because it's essentially a baby.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't know anything. You've got to teach it all this stuff. And yeah, it only knows the word Victor, like a baby would only know mom or dad.
Yeah. It's wild to me. And I just, I really hated Oscar Isaacs in this movie. Like, he's by far one of my favorite people to watch on screen. Like, I love him, and like Dune's my favorite Oscar Isaac thing like ever. But I'm a dumbass nerd, so whatever. But like for me to actually hate him, like I literally hated his character towards the end of this. So, like it just made me want to like punch him in the nose. So yeah, I think he did a great job of going and transitioning and portraying that transition on screen, where you see him go from like this like really like in-depth prestigious kind of doctor to a full-blown like asshole. And then, you know, he eventually like has his demise, and he almost like accepts the fact that like he knows he treated the creature poorly and that he's getting what he deserves at this point. It's like closure.
Yep. And I love sort of the idea of that friction between the creator and the creature. It's like this artful balance of like science and ballet and science and art versus creation. Because, yeah, you see he's just going mad and he's treating like the creation process as like a performance. Like even when he's showing off to that board, it's kind of like a magic performance. Like he's treating it like a showman. And then I think the scene that really did it for me too was the lab, like the bringing it to life scene, where you have like this frantic moment where he's running around, everything's kind of going to shit.
Yeah.
But then you have this like really beautiful symphonic music that goes with it. It's like a total contrast that is like, oh, it's science, but it's also art at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And I think that's kind of like a trend I feel with Del Toro's films, is that he's like just notorious for having the most like bomb ass like scores in his movies. at like the most craziest times, like when like you don't feel like the score and the scene go together, but they complement each other in such an odd way.
Yeah, and like the musical composer for this spoke about that in the documentary of like it's not necessarily you always want to heighten the stuff by just it's a dark chaotic scene, so we'll make dark chaotic music. Sometimes the contrast is what adds the difference, or even just no music at points as well can make the emotions of the actors pop off the screen, which is something they do with the Ozymandias scene with the creature. When he reads that book, he doesn't have music for that because he just wants Elordi's performance to be the focus.
There wasn't really a whole lot of music at all in that like whole cottage stuff, and I think it was perfect because it really like showed how the creature was progressing as like this like human side and like trying to understand and learn like what he is and like how to continue on. That was beautiful to me. Like the whole like cottage like sequence with him and his old man friend, that was like absolutely gorgeous to watch and like just see how human he actually is, even though he doesn't fully understand what his purpose is, essentially.
And that's like always the key scene in any Frankenstein adaptation that shows like it's humanity's instinct to see something and judge it.
Yeah.
But because the old man is blind, he just accepts the creature as a regular human being and treats him as such. And that's where the creature like sees the goodness in humanity, and then when the hunters come, he sees the badness and darkness in humanity as well, and that side forces him to act out, essentially survive.
Yes.
The way the film is portrayed too, it's in kind of two halves. So you get that first half from Victor's perspective, which frames him as this kind of good guy moment.
Yeah.
And then we get the creature arrives on the boat, and we switch, and then we get the creature recalling his tale, and that is where it really flips the script and focuses on the idea of abandonment, prejudice, and just loneliness, because he just wants to connect with people, but people only see the outside.
Yeah.
They judge the book from its cover and treat him as such.
This is why I think Elordi was perfect with this. His emotion, for such a young actor, he had such a range of emotion in this movie.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had the stuff, but he's got the stuff.
Dude, for real, like he is a very impressive actor, and he's got a really far career ahead of him, I feel, as long as like, you know, there's no weird skeletons hanging out in the closet or something, probably. But yeah, no, like his range of emotion going from like pretty much like almost acting like a newborn, like you said, he's a child, to like growing into like this like teenage adult man as he progresses, and like having to understand like the hardships of not being accepted and feeling hated because he's different, and even like learning or trying to understand like why he's like I guess like drawn to Elizabeth is because he's lonely, and like he understands that like he wants someone else that's just like him, so he doesn't have to go through things alone. And there's just like such a rainbow of emotions that he goes through, and it's really crazy to watch it unfold on screen. Yeah,
because she's like the first person that treats him with any kindness, and he just
like
immediately gravitates to her because of it.
Yeah, she treats him like an equal, like he's a human, like, and you even hear it like when she comes upstairs initially after meeting the creature, she's just like the man downstairs, not like the creature or what is that thing, it's the man downstairs. So that's when you kind of like know, like she doesn't look at him any different, she just looks at him as like this person. Yeah,
well, on the flip side, you've got Dr. Frankenstein, who immediately goes and locks him in this cold, damp basement with nothing but a hard slab and
chains.
Shackles.
Yeah.
And then, like, when the creature realizes the origin of how he came to be, like, that's the thing. Like, he doesn't know. He thinks he's just there.
Yeah.
And then when he finds out, like, you see that innocence in him just die immediately. And when he comes to that true understanding that humanity is kind of cruel. And I mentioned that Ozymandias scene. Kind of an interesting sort of poetic reference here, because that was written by Percy Bryce Shelley, Mary Shelley's husband.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Like, that they incorporate that. And then obviously the key moment too at the end, when the creature makes his final choice and doesn't kill Victor, he actually forgives him,
Yeah.
is such a poetic moment and like really heartbreaking. And then it ends with that Lord Byron quote, "And thus the heart will break, yet brokenly live on." It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I feel so bad. Like, you shouldn't feel so empathetic and connected with the creature.
But you do.
God damn, they do such a good job of doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely it gives you a different perspective if you're looking at if you go into this like not knowing anything about it and you have that like idea in your head like, oh, this is like a scary, like monstrous kind of creature, like, you know, it's going to be killings left and right, there's no emotion, it's just like a brainless kind of like killing machine, then you're definitely like in for a treat when things just change and you completely change your outlook on it. I hope.
Oh yeah, no, this is absolutely not a horror movie. It's a
and that's
a story about racism, tragedy, and like humanity and love.
Yeah,
Art
yeah.
versus science.
Oh yeah, and dealing with like trauma, like childhood trauma being passed on from like generation to generation. It's so much more than just like face value, like a universal monster concept that everybody always thinks of is just like that automatically like original adaptation.
And it's so interesting too to see Guillermo del Toro approach this after his last movie being Pinocchio, which has very similar themes of like the father and the son, abandonment, humanity, and what it means to be human or be made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's such an interesting director. I'm really glad that he decided to go forth with this idea and actually like get on board and have Netflix like go for it, because he does fantastic movies. They're just very intricate in my opinion, and they're super artsy fartsy. Like they don't always come across with everybody. I don't think like they're not meant for everybody, but I feel like this.
Yeah, I didn't really connect with Shape of Water that much.
Shape of Water was not my thing. I love Pan's Labyrinth, and Hellboy is like my like secret, like, I don't know, guilty pleasure to watch, but I just like Ron Perlman. But yeah, like I feel like this movie is one of those movies that I feel a lot of people would probably like, and I don't know if it's just because it's you know, an adaptation versus like an original concept, but regardless, I think that it's really well done, and you know, I'm excited to see if he decides to do like anything else with like any other maybe classic monsters, because I think that with this coming out so well, he could probably do some damage with Dracula or Wolfman or something. Even though there's been like a ton of Wolfman movies, like I feel like he could actually do it justice versus like the crap that we've been getting.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody attempts anything sort of Dracula recently.
Yeah, that hasn't been done in a while.
Well, Nosferatu.
Yeah, but like
I love that.
I love that, but like I'm talking about like not Nosferatu, because that's like in my opinion that was like in a league of its own. That's like the original vampire movie. But like if you were to like redo like the Bela Lugosi Dracula movie, you know, or like try to reimagine that, or I'm gonna say it, I would really like a Creature from the Black Lagoon like updated movie, because that is one of my favorite classic horror like classic monsters.
I guess the problem with that is it's almost Shape of Water-ish.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. No.
Similar creature.
No, it's not. Shut up. It's not a thing. Just stop it. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like anybody could probably revive the classic monsters universe. It could be Del Toro after watching this, because like The Mummy with Tom Cruise was complete trash. So I would kind of like somebody to save it.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be interested to see what he sort of approaches next as the next thing, because like. Yeah, he spoke about Pinocchio and Frankenstein are essentially two halves of the same coin, like two sides of the same coin. So yeah, where does he go next? Mm-hmm. I imagine he doesn't do... I'm sure Netflix would want him to do Bride of Frankenstein, the sequel.
Yeah, but
I don't know whether he will, because there's a Bride of Frankenstein movie coming out next year, so he's probably going to want to get away from Frankenstein.
Yeah, to tell you how excited I am about The Bride coming out is just, I cannot explain it and express my excitement enough. I really hope it lives up to the hype, because it is such a unique concept and take on that story of like bringing it into like this like semi-modern time frame, and it's directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm so excited. I'm waiting, like I am chomping at the bit for that movie to come out because it looks like such a rad concept.
I'm just looking at Del Toro's Wikipedia page to see if there's anything listed as coming up. And there isn't.
No. I mean, to be fair, Frankenstein took a lot of time. Like the time frame on this movie was probably pretty hefty. And so who knows? He might need a break. He ain't a spring chicken.
I just read something very intriguing to me.
What's so intriguing, Jamie?
He has said that he's highly interested in the culture of Victorian era. He has a room in his library called the Dickens Room. So
That's really cool.
Very interested in like Charles Dickens sort of stories. He also says, I'm a Jack the Ripper aficionado.
Oh, please do like a new Jack the Ripper.
If he does a Jack
so
the
dope.
Ripper movie, that'll be sick.
I'm sold. I am already sold.
Especially with sort of all of the more modern interpretations and like the people that have like researched it and like are starting to like, a lot of people think they know who it is, but obviously they can't prove anything now. And like, I would love to see his interpretation and like push it that way.
Yeah. So I just remembered I had to look it up because I did not want to say it 100% and have it be on film. So if you've never seen Crimson Peak, we are going to watch that movie. It is also by Del Toro, and it is a very Gothic Victorian horror style movie. And if you watch Crimson Peak after watching Frankenstein, they are so similar in the timepieces and the way they are filmed, and it is so much fun to watch them. And like, I'm probably going to end up rewatching it because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, like you can tell that he loves this time period is like made for him, I think, because he does it so well between the casting and the wardrobe and the sets. I feel like this is like his calling. So Jack the Ripper would be absolutely phenomenal done by him. So would Jekyll and Hyde. Like if he ever did a Dr. Jekyll and Hyde movie, I would bet money that would be fantastic.
Yep. And yeah, he spoke about like, if he had done this movie earlier, it wouldn't be anywhere near as good. Like this is the culmination of everything he's done got him to this point to be able to make this movie.
Yeah. All the pieces fall into
place.
Kind
of like Nolan with Oppenheimer. If he'd
Yes.
done Oppenheimer much earlier, it wouldn't have been anywhere near the movie it was. And
No.
that's another one where they kind of avoided CGI. Like they filmed that explosion
Yes.
and then just enhanced it. And I love that they've done that here. Like they used 3D printing to print like the archways and the doorways so it is exact for the models, like just the detail in everything. Like right down to the models, even like before they even got to set, they were building these miniature models so that they could tweak things and like, oh, do we put these batteries facing this way or do we spin them so that they all look slightly different? And then how do we use cameras in this space? What can we make that's removable so that the camera cranes can get in there? It's just nuts.
He's very I'm going to say he's like very old school in that sense, because there's so many directors that just like depend on essentially just CGI. Like they don't even do like storyboards anymore. And like this is just like when you watch the behind the scenes, like you can see all the storyboards with like, you know, the different scenes, concept art. There's tons and tons of just like so much effort like and stuff went into each individual sequence and thought. And it's just it's such a breath of fresh air watching a movie that was done that way.
If they released a book with all of those concept drawings and like storyboards and stuff,
fantastic,
I'd be all over that because they look awesome.
Oh, that would make like the best coffee table book.
Yeah, they're not like half-assed little like sketches. Like they are incredibly detailed pieces of art that you could print and put up. Like they look awesome.
Even like the sketches that are like supposed to be like Oscar Isaac sketches, like obviously someone had to have drawn those, like the body, like the inches of the body and like the muscular system and stuff like that. Like they're so cool looking that like I ate it up. I ate this movie up so much.
Yeah, and like the costume, the sketches from the costume team, the set design team, like they are such cool things. Like just watch the making of documentary just to see those. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
If you don't care about
And
the movie, at least watch the behind the scenes.
Netflix, make that a book.
Please?
Put that out and sell that book.
I have room on my shelf. I'll make an exception.
So as we close out, a couple of interesting little trivia pieces. Jacob Elordi wasn't the first choice for the creature.
Okay.
Andrew Garfield was originally cast as the monster, but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts, which I imagine was probably for that movie After the Hunt, which sucked.
Missed opportunity, but good for us because, no offense to Spider-Man, like 3.0 or whatever he was, but like, just, I don't think he would have done it as good of justice. Like, he's cool and all, but like, he's not Jacob Elordi in this role cool.
Yeah, so they had Andrew Garfield assigned to this role. The makeup team spent 9 months creating the look for Garfield as the monster.
Oh, shit.
And then he pulled out and or couldn't do it, so he had to pull out. And then they had 9 weeks to rework it for Jacob Elordi.
To be fair, they both have very similar face shapes, so hopefully it wasn't as hard to restructure.
Yeah, I guess if you already have the base, it's
Yeah.
probably not so bad, but they would have had to redo all of the prosthetics so that they fit
onto the body.
They talk about like they're all in like all the seams for the things are in natural places.
Yeah.
So you can't like overlap them and blend them. Like they have to be like
exactly
very
like high anatomy.
exacting. And yeah, like so yeah, they would have to redo all of those, but just well done to them. Oscar Isaac though, he was the only choice. Mm-hmm. He was always Victor Frankenstein. If he couldn't do it, they probably wouldn't have done this.
Yeah, no, and it worked beautifully. He is definitely made for that role. He has that weird mad scientist vibe anyway.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you see him, you go, yeah, you're right. You fit.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you. Like, you're probably not, you don't have all your screws up there probably anymore, dude. Also, like,
Christopher Waltz was also the only choice for Highlander. And he perfect for that. Role.
Yeah. I'm going to take a moment and give credit where credit is due to Oscar Isaac's mutton chops. That came down to, like, his fucking chin. I thoroughly impressed with that design on that makeup and hair team because those were thick bitches that came, like, all the way down. It's like, that was a choice.
I wonder if they're natural or if they are glued on.
There's no way. Those have got to be glued on because if you are that committed to having thick-ass mutton chops like that, just roll with it for like the rest of your career. Don't shave them off because that's definitely like impressive. Like,
yeah, but that sort of limits what roles you're going to get given.
It's fine. Like every character has to have those thick ass mutton chops because that is a labor of love if you had to grow those bitches out. So then, in closing, in terms of a rating, what would you give Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which is now streaming on Netflix? Oh, this is a 5 for me. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what anybody says. This is my, like, one of my top movies probably of this year. I'm just putting it out there and up there because for me, yeah, this was definitely top tier for me.
Yep. Yeah, I gave this a 5 as well. This is, one of the best movies of the year. And there's been some bangers this year. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and, there's still more.
Sinners, one battle after another, now this, like, Jesus Christ, so many good movies this year.
Yeah, Sinners actually had my top movie of the year, probably spot ever, because that was just such a fantastic, fresh look on a vampire movie. So, but yeah, this is definitely up there with Sinners, and obviously Wicked is going to go up there in my top movies of the year, because, duh. It's cool, whatever.
On that front, we will be recording our awards episode in about a month now, so we will have seen Wicked, and yeah, we'll see how she goes with that.
Oh, there's no time. It can be it's going to be fantastic. Jamie is going to love it, everybody. He is going to watch it, whether he wants to or not. I will find a way to force him to go see it, because he is going to be singing and dancing. It's going to be great.
I didn't like the first one.
I don't care. I'm pulling my birthday card. Everybody, and now it's on film. I'm pulling my birthday card.
We had a big fight about that last one.
I don't care. I'm pulling my birthday card.
Go back and watch that episode.
I'm pulling my birthday card again. You have to go see Wicked for my birthday because you're not here currently, so you have to pretend like what we would do on my birthday. If I were over there, we would be going to see Wicked for my birthday, so you should just go for that reason.
We'll see. Otherwise, thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow Corrina on Instagram at Miss Corrina Renee. And where else?
And at living_dead_books for all of my bookstagram shenanigans that's going on. Still got a little ways to go in the year, and I am on book 60 right now. So, yeah, currently reading about a succubus and a vampire. So this has been fun.
You are nuts. So you've got what? 6-8 weeks to go of the year? To read another 15-16 books to get to 1.5 books a week.
Yeah, my goal this year was 32, and I'm already up to number 60. So clearly I surpassed my goal. Or 36, whatever it was. I don't know. Regardless, I passed my goal of reading this year because I wanted to set the bar a little bit reasonable, because not everybody reads like a book a week. And I got through like an entire series in a week at one point because I just ate up the series. So
well, next year she'll be going for 104. Watch it.
No. Oh my God. That's so much.
2 a week? 2 a week, you can do that.
Like I said, I did 4 in 1 week. I mean, we'll see.
Otherwise, you can follow me on social media at JamieUpsMedia and at Pario Magazine.